don't wear this in winter also. No, forget now.
Okay, at some point, if you find my phone,
Okay.
I lost my phone, but it should be somewhere here.
No, it's here.
Oh, great.
What a
I love
perfect
my
start
life.
to
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
a social media episode.
Phone,
It's
phone.
just
Where's my
so
phone?
hot.
It's been 30 seconds since she didn't touch her phone.
And panic at the disco.
No, I said at some point if you find my phone, that's okay too. I didn't say let's find my phone
Yeah,
first.
but your mouth
You
said
just
that.
want-
But your eyes said, give me phone now.
No, my
or
eyes
else.
said give me AC because I'm a dumb fuck who doesn't know how to dress according to the weather, clearly.
Do not blame yourself.
Like,
No, blame yourself a little bit.
Podcast has already started.
Yeah,
Should
yeah,
I do a
we've been
touch
rolling.
up of my lips?
You can do whatever you want, whenever you want. I've realized that it's just easier to call Kullu. Because both Ashu and Niharika.
And he knows how to dress for this weather.
Yeah, not only that, but every time I call these motherfuckers to anything, it's just why you called. I don't want to be here.
I don't know why you called me today.
There used to be a time where I used to really plan through what I'm gonna shoot and like, I remember those times. Now it's like, yo, 9th, 3 p.m.
Yeah. मैं आप और bagpiper.
Yeah. Like, I was just like, 9, 3 p.m., I want a pod. Okay. Then like, Rohan, 9, 3 p.m., you home?
Yes.
And then I was like, Sid, 9, 3 p.m., you home? And then I was like, send to who are the next 2 people I've spoken to? Like, Aspirations and Niharika, let's just send it. And it was done.
That's how I got
Yeah, what he's
chosen.
trying to
Wow.
say is, so happy to have you both.
Yeah.
So thrilled.
I skipped my mom's birthday for this guy.
It's your mom's birthday?
Yesterday too, that's
No,
so
shut
weird.
up.
I swear to God.
No, fuck off.
I'm not even joking.
Your
That's
mother's
Neuroscience
birthday
of
is
मेरे में
today.
बिछड़े हुए प्रेम.
Shut up.
Welcome to Neuroscience.
crazy. What? Yeah. Oh my God, that's so weird. Okay, when is yours? 4th of July?
26 July.
Mine's on the 4th. Okay.
Oh,
Would've
but
been weird
it's
if
still
yours was on the
July,
4th
dude.
too. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of crazy, no?
In the same month,
Yeah.
two separate people
We are meeting
in
each
a
other for
country
the
of
first
1.4
time
billion.
today. You literally just said that, hey, these are the 2 people I invited randomly. And these 2 people randomly have their mother's birthday
It's
today.
not random.
Wait, isn't there some sort of like stat that if there's about 30 people in a room, the chance of 2 people sharing a birthday is like 50%
Yeah, but
or
there are
something
10
like
only, yaar.
It's not bad. It's not
It's
bad.
not bad.
Oh, I'm not
And they are not even in the room.
Anyway, miss you, Kullu. That's my point.
I love it. Guys, I'm not a horrible person. I went to my mother's place last night. I cut a cake at 12 a.m. We went to Ramashra in the morning. And
All I hear is that you went to your mother's house, ate her cake and left. None of this
I mean,
makes you a
she
good
did
person.
ask me to come for dinner today, and I said, hey, I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah, but it's like 4 p.m. right now. You can go for
Yeah.
dinner.
Guys, I'm not in the mood, yeah.
Why does your mother eat like a Swedish farmer at like 4 p.m. dinner?
Yeah, and it wasn't like, I said, hey, you want to do the pod? And she's like, no, it's my mom's birthday. I'm like, yeah, but it's the pod. I wouldn't have said that. I'd be like, that makes sense actually. See
I
you.
just wanted to make a joke. Can we move on? I love my mother. I'm not posted on social media, but I still do love her.
Oh, good one. Good one.
Great one. There we go.
We're doing neuroscience of social media.
Yes.
So what happens?
You know, I hate it when you do that, right? It's just
When we were starting this episode, Niharika was changing seats from Rohan's seat to there. On the way, she was like, can someone find my phone? And she was still relatively calm about it. But I cannot. Sometimes I do this where I open Instagram, I'll scroll, then I shut it. Open WhatsApp, shut it,
Yep.
and then open Instagram
immediately.
immediately.
Yes.
And now Instagram does this really smart thing where earlier, if you would just infinitely scroll, after a while it would say, all the posts are over.
that's top.
That's stopped now.
Yeah.
My dystopian new hellish discovery is I sleep on my side and some mornings I wake up with my finger in the scroll position.
No way.
Yeah, I wake up with my thumb and finger in the scroll position. Finger
Like
in the
this?
Scroll. Like, yeah, if I'm sleeping like this, I wake up like naturally it's like this. And I don't watch K-drama. So I know that's
Why it's like
not
this?
that.
It's
So-
3 more fingers to meditation.
Which is ironic.
Or maybe
Because
we
this
just
is the
love
furthest
Rashmika
thing.
Mandana too much.
Maybe,
You know, one of the
maybe. That's what it is.
Do we all sleep with our phones next to our face?
Yes.
Yes.
Next to our face?
Yeah.
No, on the side table.
No.
On the side table, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but you keep it on the night table.
Yeah.
And is the night table next to your face?
It's on my face.
I'd let it charge, and I cannot sleep without the sound of something playing in the background.
Same.
Yeah, so I'm usually just reruns of old
Office
shows.
for me.
Yeah, I listen to The Office a lot.
People watch Friends, Big
Yes.
Bang Theory.
It just runs.
Something that you know already.
Sometimes I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and Michael is making fun of Pam.
When was the last time you went through an entire day without touching your phone?
When 13, when I didn't have a phone.
Yeah, the first time you got a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
When
is
was
incredible.
Nokia invented?
I'd say the longest I went was like 5 hours last month. I was getting on a flight and phone died. And took me to land and then get to a place where I could charge a phone.
And how desperate were you?
I went mad.
You're a better person than me. I would have stolen somebody's phone by that point on the flight only.
Hijack the plane. Like, give me a plane ride.
Yeah, it was the longest 18 hours of my life.
Like the day before I travel, like my living room looks like this situation room. Where, like, so if it's a 2-hour flight to Delhi, I'm convinced I need 14 hours of content. I minimum of 14 sitcom episodes,
Right,
3
yeah.
podcasts,
Correct.
4 offline playlists. It's like, man, because anything can happen between Mumbai
God
and Delhi.
forbid, what if you get bored with one episode?
Exactly.
And then your whole calculation goes wrong.
Exactly. And like
Yeah.
I only have I have little sitcom, little action. Depending on the vibe.
Yeah.
Gotta have all that ready to like.
There are always those 3 really intelligent podcasts that you've kept
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
in case you feel like it, but you end up watching.
100%. So if I was the person that is on my downloaded but not watched, read listening list, dude, I'm amazing. I'm basically a Nobel Prize with hands and feet.
Yeah.
But I am unfortunately the person that watches the things that I watch. So here we are. How are you, Ashwin?
I downloaded shit for Disneyland. So while waiting in the line,
That
we
is
have
so
watched
smart.
Michael Jordan ka last dance. Full thing
Standing in line.
Line at Disney.
at Disneyland. And I've vlogged it, which I will never release, but I've vlogged it. Where I have recommended people to do that, which I will tell you guys also.
That's genius.
That's genius.
You have to,
Very
you
smart.
must.
That's absolutely
Because
genius.
it's the worst thing to stand in lines, but when you have the company of your phone, oh my god.
God. Yeah.
You don't need a husband
It's
or
it's
a
like
friend.
it's like a little friend you're carrying around who
Yes.
always has something interesting to tell you
Yeah.
A little
all the
frenemy.
time. Frenemy.
A little frenemy you're carrying
Friend
around.
only, yeah, enemy
Friend
and all
only, yeah.
these intellectual people feel, but I to feel best friend only.
When you do forget your phone on the other side of the house, for example, and you end up reaching into your pocket and you can't find it, how long can you wait before you have to get up and like you know
Is
it's
there a
there.
way to measure time in minus?
Yeah, I was just gonna say -6 seconds.
Can we reverse cause and effect?
I can't.
I'm irritated before I misplace my phone. It's pretty short, but I now think of non-stimulated time, which is non-watching something, as walking and listening to music, which is very much stimulated still.
Stimulated time.
I put on my playlist and I'll go for a walk. I'll be like, wow, I was really with myself and Diplo.
Why are you still
Just me
listening
and
to
Diplo.
And whatever, like whoever the fuck, I don't want to tell the actual name of what I'm listening
Taylor
to.
Swift, I
It's
know
more
it.
trash than
Okay.
what you can imagine.
Tum to thehre par
Yeah, it's that only.
Yeah, but that's one less sense occupied.
One
right?
less sense
So
occupied.
you
yeah.
count that as a win.
I count that as a win. Like for me, that's like the best part
At
of
least
my
you can
day.
see the sky and look
Yeah.
at the
Like
grass.
my phone told me yesterday that my screen time has gone down by 15% last week to 5 hours.
Yeah, same dude. Even I'm doing
Gone
5 hours.
down
That's not
by
bad.
15% to 5 hours.
hours.
That's a lot of time.
So you just on your phone for 5 hours in a day?
At the very least. And this is my phone. We're not talking about like my other screens that I'm
Okay,
also
okay.
constantly staring at.
That's
Right? My
true.
life is just an exercise where I wake up in the morning and it starts with how do I get to the biggest screen?
Yes.
Like, my life is just a journey slowly to the biggest screen
You're
that I
building
can
it
get
up.
in front of. Then suddenly you're sitting to, and
Yeah.
then now how to do 3-4 screens. Right? Is how we've reached.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Now-
Guys, it's so weird. I'm watching a show over here. Then I have to go to the washroom. I take it on my phone. I continue. Both are playing us simultaneously. It's not like I pause this. I go to the washroom. I start watching it. and I come back. I can't wait for 5 minutes. 5
But
minutes.
this is literally what Tim Cook promised when he said your iOS devices will hang. It was for this.
They hand over. The whole point
Yeah,
is
hand over the
you
whole
have a
point.
group of friends now who
Yeah.
play tag with each other.
And
Yeah.
they all say the same thing. Nobody is talking about anything else. It's the same show from
Yeah.
here to
Right.
there and then back.
Abhi tu sambhal.
I have versions of COD. Like there's the show that I have to pay full attention to,
Right.
and there's the show that I can watch while also simultaneously scrolling something on Reddit or on Instagram.
Correct. This small PIP thing that picture in
Oh, it's
picture
the
way.
worst feature.
Oh,
Holy
man.
Oh my God.
Love
Netflix
it.
going on while you're scrolling Instagram.
It's what an insane thing to invent, right?
Right.
I noticed that if you buy YouTube Premium, you
It
do
doesn't
this.
happen.
Yeah,
It does.
It does.
It does.
I have premium. It doesn't happen.
of course it does.
What I've noticed is that now if you are hanging out with friends, like in Bangalore, I just have a couple of friends and I see them like 3 times a week. I'm hanging out with them. It is perfectly socially accepted behavior after every 20-30 minutes of conversation
To have-
that now all 3 people will simultaneously
yeah.
zone out and have a 10-minute phone.
That's
Good
a
old
lie.
scroll sesh.
This is
You're
a very
with-
Tanmay thing. Like
No.
sometimes I'm talking to him and he's like,
Yes.
and I'm just like, I'm still
Yeah,
talking.
I think we're very.
He does
That's a
that,
you and me
yeah.
thing for sure. Like
yeah,
in
it's
the
not a
sense.
normal thing. It's,
It's
very
not
rude.
I do that
Yeah,
all the
very
time.
rude.
Exactly, it's very rude. Like I don't even pick up my phone when I'm like talking to someone. Tanmay will ask me a question. I will start answering it, and he's like,
I'm
and
into
then
my phone.
will stop also, and I'm like, yeah. So
Okay, so in my
Tanmay,
defense,
Tanmay,
if I'm feeling comfortable enough to do that, it's because I love you.
oh shut the fuck
I
up.
feel like I can be
I'll go
myself.
one step further. If you see me do that,
Yeah.
for what it's worth, staring at that thing makes me a better listener.
That is absolute
You know how-
bullshit.
You know
It
how
works.
my dog, if he's really comfortable around you, he will like lie down ulta. He will like lick his genitals.
So this is
So
your
this is
dog
my version
behavior.
of licking
Oh
my
God.
genitals around you.
Oh my! Why
like
would you?
maximum
I don't want
comfort.
you to, Tanmay. Like I don't want you to get that
You, I
comfortable.
want you to know who I really am.
No,
This is me.
This is
Lie.
And it's so, I'm addicted to social media, but this is pure
Yeah,
inside.
right?
That's,
yes.
But it also means that you haven't hung out enough. Your
how
cycles
much
will
is he
sync.
paying you?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everybody starts
Yeah,
scrolling
yeah.
together.
Cycles will sync. Cycles will sync.
Cycles will sync at some point.
But you are actually like Niharika is the only person who, if I call, sometimes she doesn't answer, which is insane to me.
Because I never have my phone on me.
What?
Like I just, which is why I didn't like really like interject. Because I just feel like when I'm on my phone, I have very extreme personalities. Like I'm like I can do one thing at a time. I can't multitask. I'm not like normal like that. Like I have some inbuilt defect to it. I can just do one thing. So if I'm on my phone, I won't be doing anything else. So I put my phone aside and I get everything
That's
done.
crazy, no?
I'd also like to
Come
point
back.
out that we live in this hellscape where the ability to focus on one task at a time is a defect inside of
yeah, exactly.
No,
It's
like
a
no,
gift.
like people can do 10 things at a time, dude. I really can't. Like if I'm working on something and you ask me something, I don't even know what you just asked me. I'm like, like 10 times, and it irritates my mom so much. And for me, when I'm eating, I have to watch something, and I have to play. Like when that first thing is
Yeah.
going, something has to play.
Correct.
Even if the food's getting cold, I'll wait till I pick a show, and that's like
Right.
excruciating.
Yeah,
15
this habit
minutes,
is
right?
why we upload at 8 p.m.
Yes, exactly this reason. Is why.
I look
I
forward
just
every
have
day
to.
to see roti
Yes.
sabji along with laptop
I
screen
think-
and my
Yes,
face on it.
exactly that.
I like that there was a particular time till which our parents would insist that nahi khana khane ke time pe dekhna nahi chahiye. And at some point 6-7 years ago that just stopped.
It just stopped.
Like everybody
Oh,
just kind of
100%.
accepted.
Yeah,
Yeah, ye to normal hai.
I'd like to take that like a step further and ask you a question because this is something I've started to see with older people and you're also seeing it online in America. Older people in social media is like becoming a whole different problem because on some level we have a certain amount of young context, right? And we at least have the filters to be like if this is coming from here, this is fake or this is like, but I see old people like there's this whole other unhealthy dependence, like
Absolutely.
emotional dependence on like WhatsApp and Twitter and Facebook. All their sort of critical faculties just evaporate.
Correct. So all the reasons why we want to be on social media for an older person would actually be 10 times more if they don't have that kind of support system. Just imagine somebody living by themselves.
Yeah.
At least हमारे पास तो कुछ तो options है बाहर जाके किसी से मिलना,
Yeah.
something like that. If they don't have anything else, this is it, right? You are on social media, then Facebook is full of those 60 plus people who are just chatting with each other. So this is what social media actually does. Over a long term, what it does is it prevents your brain from being able to switch off, like get out. And over a period of time, it does impact mental health. So now there are more and more studies. The problem is like how people were smoking since a long time, and it took around 30-40 years for the evidence to become really concrete that smoking is harmful. Social media ka that evidence is now started coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear.
It is very clear. So even शुरुआत में पता था smoking के बारे में भी.
Yeah.
But then
आग जा रहा है तो कुछ तो हो रहा होगा. It can't be net good for you.
So
But we're following the same pattern as smoking when you think about it. Because there was a time where smoking was like, ooh, this is great
really
for the
cool.
baby and for pregnant women. And now it's social media, it's the same. My baby should have Instagram.
Yeah.
And be amazing. But it's not.
do you think now, hypothetically, in 10 years, Instagram and social media would be legally required to put a disclaimer? When
What sort of disclaimer?
Like how smoking kills?
Yeah.
But every time you open it,
Correct. Social media is addictive.
I mean, we're already there, right? Like the fact that Apple touted it to be a good for the user feature by having screen time is like a sign of saying, yo, we gotta tell you at least how fucked we are making you.
TikTok used to have that thing, no? Like, wait, you've been scrolling for too long. Maybe you should take a break. And you're just like, we're like, shut the fuck up. And you're like, scroll
I know what I'm doing.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you never care.
Silence Chinese app.
Girl from LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never had this experience.
Yeah,
Because before we got into TikTok only, it got banned.
It got banned. So
We
yeah.
directly went to
that's right,
Reels.
Straight up.
Yeah, straight. Even when Facebook made likes go away, it was like a moment of, well done.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for taking likes away.
Did you ever do that?
Take likes away?
Yeah.
Like, I haven't done it because I actually don't care how many likes I'm getting. Very rarely do I care.
I like likes.
I like likes.
Same. Even me.
I
See,
don't
here's the thing, right? I feel like when you take off, like when you switch off your likes on Instagram, people will just assume that your engagement is shit,
Shit.
and you're trying to hide.
Yeah, correct.
So I'm not thinking you're humble. I'm thinking
क्या
तूने
चल रहा है?
खरीदा है followers.
कुछ तो चल रहा है.
Now there's no engagement, and now you're embarrassed. So now you're hiding your likes.
It's like a double, triple bluff.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything, right?
Nobody's gonna be like, oh, she's so humble. They'll be like, oh,
Oh, pakdi gayi.
like yeah.
I caught myself watching this tutorial.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast, so this tutorial was talking about how, hey, you can move the camera based on your face movement. So if you notice when Mr. Beast talks, today I'm doing something and the camera moves with his face.
Yeah,
His motion track to his face. And I was like, you can't even hear 3 words without there being some stimulation.
Yeah.
When I'm asking my editor to edit, so I'll tell him saying, okay, I said something and at the end of it, it cuts back to a meme.
Yeah.
And when the meme is playing, at the end of it, Rohan will make a joke, Kulu will make a joke, I'll make a joke. And there'll be a moment of silence where I'm awkward and the camera slowly pans in. So I'll tell my editor, I'll say, isme stimulation bada. Okay, back in the early days, I had to create my own lingo. Like, what is stimulation? Stimulation is just any cuts, slow zoom in, music suddenly cut de, music suddenly add kar de, kuch sound effect dal de, cut to Rohan, cut back.
Yeah.
If I'm saying 5 words back to back, like tut, 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 it has to be it has to be that. There has to be no moment where
None. And the thing is, we've been moving towards this as a society for a while. This is not just a social media phenomenon. There was a study even pre-social media with films. For example, once we got to sort of music video culture, etc., and editing got better, the average length of a shot in films went down from 7 to 8 to 9 seconds per shot to 3.5 seconds a shot between cuts.
Oh.
In fact, you want a fun experiment to see how far we've fallen? Go watch one of your favorite movies from the 70s or the 60s.
There's no way.
So,
yeah.
dude, like I went back
It
and watched the
becomes
first
very
Blade
difficult.
Runner, and there are points where I who think that movie is a masterpiece was like, this could do with cutting.
Yeah.
Right? Because we've just reached this, like you said, stimulate. Why
constellation.
take time with the shot? Why is not cut yet?
Yeah.
So we've been on this arc for a while. Like there's that great meme about Taken 3, right? Where for that one shot of him jumping a fence, there are 9 cuts or something like that.
I had said that when I saw KGF 2, I think. So KGF 2, I said, okay, this to me, it reminded me a lot of, and I mean no disrespect, it reminded me a lot like of TikTok, right? For example, dialogues are rhyming.
Yeah.
Because when things rhyme, you feel good. There are match cuts. There's of course scale. Every scene has a music graph. Like every end of a scene has to have a line to end the scene, and there has to be an exit moment. It reminds me of like each scene. It's almost like a TikTok graph, like like the TikToks that we watch.
Basically, every scene has to have the equivalent of a hook step.
Of a hook step,
Of a hook step. Everything has to have a hook step. Hook dialogue, hook step, hook. Right? Because earlier Howard Hawks used to think like a good film is 3 great scenes and no bad scene. Now every scene has to be hook.
Correct.
Because at every scene you are competing with the phone.
Yeah.
At any point you can lift the phone, and then if whatever reel is going on, if that is more interesting than the movie or the conversation,
Correct. Finished.
they will not come back.
Correct.
That
I
is what your
watch
competition
reels
is.
in theaters. You guys do that, no?
I mean,
know.
before the movie
Which
starts,
theatre
in
shows
the
reels?
interval, maybe.
No, like
but
when,
Oh.
when the movie is
I
going.
misunderstood
on.
this.
Dude, but I'm also
Sometimes-
conscious of like other people watching what I'm watching. Like, what if like something random shows up? Like, I'm like shy. Like, I'm like, I don't want you to judge me for what I'm
Yes.
watching.
Yes.
This,
Right?
and I don't know but I'm a terrible person. I have looked at other people's screens
Yeah,
in public.
because you can't
Alright?
help
Because
it. You
sometimes you
can't
can't
help it, yeah.
Right? Like I was sitting at the airport the other day, one guy just scrolling
You just
through porn.
see. Oh,
He's just
okay.
scrolling. He's sitting there,
Sure.
he's just going.
I told you don't sit behind Kullu like this.
I didn't know Kullu was a pilot.
The pilot?
But like it's porn on reels now. How
No,
can
but
you
it's
see
on
it?
Reddit, it's on websites, so people are just scrolling and doing their thing. And I'm like, look, it's
It's there.
4K screen.
Correct. Screen is a
Yeah.
screen.
Screen is a screen. I can see.
Yeah.
I'm going to see. So yeah, I'm very wary of this for
Let
this
me blow
reason.
your mind. There's one of those screen protector thingies where you can't
Correct,
see
you
it.
can't
from-
see from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
side.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I always, in my head,
This
I'm
guy
like,
didn't
I
have
have
that.
to get. I'm just too lazy to actually go
Yeah,
through it.
this
like,
guy didn't
all
have
of it.
that.
Yeah, obviously.
100%.
But
Yeah.
you are brain doc. What do you do to protect? What is the screen protector for your brain?
How to screen time my brain.
So right now you really can't. There is no way that you can. There's nothing that you can do to put a filter between you and social media. It is designed
No,
that
filter
way.
Paris though I can.
No, the
Go for
craziest
your
thing
mom
that I
birthday,
read was Instagram hiding likes initially. So that you put up a post and you're like, yeah, likes kyun nahi aa rahe? And then they hit you with a surge. Initially there's a dip that, this is
okay.
something is wrong. So now you're looking for that validation. And when you're looking for that validation, those 100 likes will now seem much more valuable.
Oh, by the way, have you started seeing every time you make a post, you get a boost to your post
Yes,
a lot
yes,
more.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Also, have you
option?
noticed
Yeah,
even
yeah.
with Reels?
Like it'll come on your story. Like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
post that
Yeah.
you did, you can boost it now.
But you know, if you boost your post, your actual engagement, like it really like messes up your
Yes,
actual
it
engagement.
does.
So you should never actually boost your post.
Oh.
I love Meta, but like never actually boost your post. Okay.
Have you also noticed how now they started giving out awards for Reels?
Yes.
Like
What,
they
what,
gamified
what?
it
Oh,
further.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
essentially, every time
yeah.
you post a reel now, you get like, you know how streak used to be there on Snapchat?
Yeah.
So you get the equivalent of, you've posted every day. Here's
Yeah.
a creative
This is like the
streak badge, like your Apple,
Apple
Watch
Head.
badges.
Exactly.
Literally like
Apple
your
Watch.
Apple
Really?
Watch fitness badges, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, you use this music, you're a trendsetter for using this trendy pieces. So they've gamified it further. Every time they post, aside from posting the reel, they tell you these 4 cute badges that you sort of...
YouTube, why you can't do this? So much I post, you can't give me a what?
Yay,
But yeah, this is the thing
Instagram.
now.
I have to pack myself. This
Yeah,
मैंने 8
that's
बार
it.
upload किया.
Yeah.
well
say you're
done.
proud of me, daddy. What is
You have to fill a form for your play button.
Yeah.
You have to fill-
Bro, it's okay. You get actual money. We get these
That's true.
gamified
But
prizes.
this is
Okay,
the
so
thing.
just let us win somewhere.
That's true. By
Say
the
I
way,
love you, Meta.
Love you, Instagram. Team Instagram. Yay!
This is the consuming side of it. But now what about the creating side of it, right? Where my question is, there's obviously an escalation in the way people behave in order to sort of put more content out about themselves, right? In terms of whether it's today, it's cringe, or whether it's, you know, like today, how do you know that a couple influencer is living authentically? Or how do you know...
why you, there's no reason to
like-
look at Aishwarya like
I'm
that.
not. No, but you know, I'm saying like there's people who have these joint accounts, like where they go and there's no way to tell. Like for example, I get really worried about like when I see people posting their babies. Are you just now dreaming up activities
Yeah.
because they're Instagram friendly as opposed to because this is actually good for your kids?
Isn't it
development?
inevitable? होना ही
Yeah,
है.
this is
If they
won't
start,
stop.
once they start, the lines will keep on getting blurred. I met some parents who were saying that the best thing you can do for your child is to start an Instagram account, and when they are 16, 17, just give them an account that already has
And they're going to be so embarrassed
100K followers.
when they finally
They'll be
see
so
all
happy.
of that. Yeah.
The thinking has changed. How you look at Instagram, how you look at these social media platforms have changed. It's become a way of life now. To the public, what is a negative? What is a downside?
There's a phrase that I had heard once after I moved to Bangalore. The phrase was post-economic, which is when people achieve that FIRE thing or whatever, which is financially independent, retire early, which is, oh, I've made enough money that I don't necessarily need to do the hard days now to survive. Folks who are able to, like now I almost feel like I'm actually working to reach a point where my need to be engaged with the world is no longer dependent, is no longer correlated to my work at all. Like I hate that. I justify it to myself saying I have to be addicted.
Yeah, of course.
I just
same,
have
same.
to keep up.
Same.
I just gotta keep creating.
Yeah, same.
And I'm just like, fuck, I can't wait to reach a day where it just does not matter. Nothing matters.
The ultimate form of wealth, I think, in today's world is being anonymous, right? Like, if you can be wealthy enough to not in any way somehow be on any of these platforms, and somehow you still like are in this fire position, I feel like that is in fact now, that's why quiet lux and all are a thing, right? Because I think
Quiet what?
Quiet luxury.
Quiet
Essentially the succession aesthetic.
Yeah.
The idea being that now true wealth actually means anonymity as opposed to flaunting it, because you actually want to be post-camera, post-social media.
Post-camera.
Because wealth
post-camera.
whispers,
Yeah.
it doesn't scream out loud with Louis Vuitton and
Exactly,
all,
yeah,
you
there
know?
you go.
Like it should look like one just like Galeej t-shirt you've bought, but it'd be
Yeah.
like $700.
Exactly.
And you won't even be like, you just won't even talk about it. You'd be like, oh, this whole thing.
It's
Because
great.
there was a time when fame was a very valuable social currency.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't easily available. Now, it's not. It's not such a difficult to achieve currency.
No, you know what I think? No, you're right. I can't say no to you, but you're
Of
right.
course you
You're
can say no.
You're right. But I just think everybody thinks they're famous even before they're famous. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Sometimes I
Yeah.
see creators.
Go on.
You love Meta.
I'm
we
a
know,
creator.
we know.
No, I'm just saying I'm a creator too. So I feel like I see creators walking around like they're only Shah Rukh Khan. And I don't get it because I grew up on social media and I just know it's so volatile, dude. You're relevant today, you're not tomorrow. So when people are acting like, I'm like, dude, don't get too excited. Tomorrow you just won't. But I see people walking around like they're the shit. So I think it's more what they think about themselves more than the audience, because the audience likes you as long as you're an underdog. You're underrated, you're wow. The minute you get more followers, she's cringe. How did she get famous? How did he get? It's just that thing. I don't know, at least like the urban audience, they don't look at them as celebrities or like whatever.
Of course.
There's a very like if you go to like a Yaucha or like a Pink Wasabi and you sit down, right? They'll know who you are. They'll look at you and they'll be like, whatever. But if you go to like a younger, like, you know, college, school situation, they're like, oh my God, hi. So it's also like the audience.
I was discussing with someone about how envy for people who kind of make it on social is peaking because it feels so achievable. If I would watch fucking like a cricketer or like, you know, someone who's famous for a skill that I cannot have.
Achieve.
Man.
Yeah.
There's just no way for me to fucking swim or have dolphin hands like Michael Phelps. Like I'm never going to be envious of that ever. But feels like I can make that reel.
Yeah,
Feels
yeah,
like
right.
I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
make this
100%,
video.
100%,
Vlogging
right?
doesn't seem hard at all.
No.
I could be doing that.
Yeah,
Then you
absolutely.
should now. Instead of being
that's why
bitter about it.
most people do try now. Like the number of creators is like is like constantly updating number.
Is that word even valid anymore? Because who is not?
Who's not creating?
Not
it?
everyone is, right?
Everyone is.
You literally have the equivalent of a fucking broadcast studio
Correct.
in the palm of your hand.
Have you seen Bo Burnham's stand-up called Make Happy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
In the end, that's what he says, right? That the lines between audience and performer has blurred. Because everybody is audience and everybody is performer. So that is what the capital system has done. Given
Correct.
everybody this hope that
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
do this.
Correct.
Put yourself out there. Put every little thing out there. That this is what I had for lunch. This is what I
It's
had for
the
dinner.
ultimate democratization of publishing, right? Which has never
Yeah.
happened before. Democratization of consumption has happened, but like
Yes.
a complete
Dude.
democratization of publishing.
Right.
Democratization of circus.
Of being heard.
Of
Everything is
like I'm saying, you had the printing press, then you had the broadcast studio.
Right.
So consumption became easier. Anybody could buy a book, anybody could read a book, anybody could watch TV, anybody. But it still cost a shit ton of money to make a book. It still cost a shit ton of money to make a video to then broadcast it out to the rest of the world.
Right.
So that's what I mean by democracy of publishing. Means that you can self-publish a novel, a movie, whatever you want these days, right? So then what is audience? Right. Today, in fact, an audience earlier used to be a receiver. In fact, now an audience feels like it is their duty to participate and shape the product, right?
Yes.
Like, which is why, in fact, like we've seen in the last 20 years, mystery box shows go from like, you know, where there was Lost, where we could to an extent talk about it, to now with social media. So this thing that creators are like, there's no point doing mysteries because fuck, after I put out an episode, 1 billion people sit down
to decode
and
it.
go over my plot points. 1 billion people.
Yeah.
Of course they are going to figure it out. Right? We were 4 guys sitting in a writer's room. Of course they're going to figure it out. So which is why in fact you see a shift to better emotional stories, all of that stuff, because mystery boxes, your audience is in fact feeling compelled to solve ahead of you.
Correct.
together as a hive mind now.
Correct.
So
Because we
this-
can't even wait a week to just see what the creator wanted to do.
And then we get mad because of our own expectations.
Correct.
And this I'm talking to the audience side, right?
Yeah.
It's like, but I thought this would be how they didn't do.
Yeah.
Right? That what this guy on Reddit came up with was so nice.
I was talking about how everyone's creating. I was talking to a friend and I was discussing our React videos. And I was like, okay, what do I do? Because here's how I think of that framework, okay? Which is that, it's like basically the audience is scrolling with us.
Yeah.
It's the four of us and we sit down and we're scrolling through reels and funny reels and we watch it and we are reacting. And when we say we are reacting, it's really a game of who gets the top comment.
Yeah.
Right? Who gets the top comment? And my friend messaged me saying, Tanmay, why don't you just read the comment on the reel? Because they are so funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just read that. And the thing is, this is not the first time I'm having this thought. I've had this thought because this is the framework I use, which is the 4-5 of us are trying to get the top comment on that fucking reel and you make the joke and you move on. And then my reply to that was, then what do I do?
Yeah.
What the fuck do I do?
What's my job? in
My
this?
game is to make the top comment.
Yeah.
And then there was the element of chat, right? Which is chat would make these jokes. And people started commenting saying, the funniest comments are always by chat. I was like, yeah, because it's 400 people, 500 people. Because, of course.
Yeah.
And we've
And
gone
each one of those 500 people come with one joke and then do nothing again for the rest of the episode.
Yeah. And then I was like, yeah, but now imagine that version of chat, but to everyone who has seen this reel. What is the likelihood of this, like, 4 people against 1 million people? It's just no way to compete. So then I am rationalizing to myself, saying, what's a format that we can do
That no
such
one-
that what can we even do in this? And this reminded me of how when we went to watch Johnny Lever once. And we were talking to him about comedy and etc. And he said this, saying there's a time when I used to do shows where like comedy was like an occasion, right? Which is, today I'm going to go to a place to laugh for an hour. And then at some point it became from that to everybody's a comic. Like, what is observational comedy? And remember, people used to be observational
of
comics.
course.
Like, what is it? Everything is observational. Like, everyone is an observational
Silence
comic.
meme.
Yeah. And that gave birth to the rise of storytelling in stand. No, it didn't give birth to the rise of that, but high story, high perspective specials started doing really well. Like Hassan special did so well because just doling out jokes became so commoditized.
Yeah. Or then like an inside, right? Like Bo Burnham's.
Yeah.
Right, where you're literally
It's a commentary,
reinventing
it's a
the
documentary.
form in a
Yeah.
very different way and a document of a specific time.
High perspective,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's just impossible to be
But what
like,
did Johnny Lever say?
this is what Johnny Lever said, that stand-up went from an occasion to like just a medium. To just a medium.
You see this how interesting this is, that we started off with the social media ka problems of how this it's addictive and all, and this seems to be a very clear counterpoint of how it is changing culture in a good way. It is good that everybody is getting their own voice. It is good that everybody is kind of discovering that they can speak out, and maybe out of 100 people, 1 or 2 will have stuff that is worthy of listening to.
Of course.
Which they may never have said without this platform.
The
100%.
TikTok algorithm applied to the world, which is at one point, when you opened, you would see content from the people you're following. And then TikTok came in and said, actually, that shit's not relevant anymore. I'm just going to give you the best shit on the platform
Right.
that anyone is posting. Like, we're all used to that now, which
Yeah,
is,
100%.
I don't care about, remember there was a time where, okay, X filmmaker books a date and that's when this X filmmaker is coming.
Yeah.
Now you wake up and you're like, I can watch the best of anything at any point that anyone has made. It's fully
To
changed.
the
I
point
would
that
just assume that when everybody starts creating, people just become more empathetic. So in my head, I'm like, yes, everybody creates. Everybody creates so that you just feel ki, we're all like, everybody is nice and you don't leave mean
Papa,
comments.
you're so optimistic
I get why
about
you
the
would say
world.
that,
So
but it
you
doesn't
feel
work like
that
that.
about our peers?
Yeah.
You think they're empathetic towards
No,
us?
I mean, I feel
They're
like,
probably like, why her?
no, but they won't write it.
They won't, of course they won't
I don't
write
care
it,
about
but
what you
okay.
say behind
Yeah.
my back, but I
Okay.
just
Oh.
don't want people to come on my comment section and say, "Ye kya banai?"
But they're not going to say that because they're empathetic.
No,
Just
I
preserve
feel
their
like-
own brand value or
I feel like everyone who creates, if you start creating, then you
Yeah.
just feel, oh, this is maybe it
Yeah.
takes time or whatever.
Be a little nicer, man. Be like,
my
chill.
head,
No,
I
I
think-
think-
No, I don't
if
think
I-
everybody is empathetic at all.
Not at all. If,
No,
if everybody
this is
creates the-
utopia. Like, if
Imagine the number of people who create today, if that number keeps going up, envy will keep going up because more
Yeah.
people don't make it.
Correct.
And if more people don't make it, that many more people start really disliking anyone who
In fact,
makes
yeah, more than empathy, they'll like what she was saying about like why her
Yeah.
and why not me? I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Correct.
And
If
in their
anything,
heads, they're
like-
always like, I'm better than her. So, like, or
Yeah.
I'm better than him. So,
I
why
think
her
more
or
people
him?
should take up other jobs because if they're happy in their thing, they won't hate you.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing we've got to stop hoping for is that human nature will change.
Yeah.
It is not a problem about language or the means of communication. It was never about that. All those fundamental things will remain. No matter how many people get phones, no matter how many people get educated, none of that really
None of that will-
matters.
yeah.
Right.
That basic responses of envy and jealousy is going to remain.
Why? What do you do to be doctor?
Be doctor.
Be doctor.
Just be doctor in life. Have you actively tried any measures to de-addict, and have they worked?
The simplest thing that worked for me was realizing that this is a job. At some point, as soon as you start thinking of it as a job, you will, no matter how much you like it or whatever, you start building barriers around it, you start creating formats around it. Mistake that I made, or I think that everybody goes through it, is you look at it as an object of pleasure. Like, I will go on Instagram, I will have fun, it'll be something that I do for my relaxation. Very quickly you realize that this is not relaxing. I don't think I'm coming out of Instagram feeling more relaxed. I'm actually feeling a little bit on edge.
You're saying this as a consumer or as someone who puts up
But this
things?
only happened because I started creating content. And that is what happened with me. And I was reading about why. So one thing was, initially, when you have, say, 100 or 1,000 followers and your engagement rate is variable, you don't know if you've put up a post. I used to put up poetry before, way back. And one post one day got around 10 comments. And I was very happy because this has never happened before. I would usually get like one comment or something. This was in 2018. Because of the variability of that response, you get very excited. You feel that, oh, I want to do more. I think when you start creating more and more and you hit a certain barrier beyond which you know that there will be engagement, you know that there will be likes, there will be people commenting. At that point, something changes in your mind and you start expecting कि ये तो होना ही है. And so every time that expectation is fulfilled, you don't get enough joy. But if that expectation is not fulfilled,
Oh yeah.
you get a lot of sadness.
Brother.
So now,
Brother, 5 billion views later, I still worry about engagement on video, and I'm just like,
Do you
holy
have
fuck.
any shame? Tanmay randomly calls me yesterday and he drops figures sometimes, okay? He like figures, not views, money, right? He'll be like, hey, guess how much I made, okay? Randomly. After I hear that and then I listen to his problems, I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like this, if you're worried
No,
about this
I
number,
am
just open your
telling you
bank
this as a way
account.
to justify to myself, saying it's
Oh,
fine,
okay,
things
okay.
are
It's
good,
fine.
things are good.
but see, that's the thing. If once you are sure that either खुशी तो नहीं मिल रही है, you are only here to avoid being sad. Then you have to kind of recalibrate what you're
Is
doing
it
it
even
for.
to avoid being sad, or is it now just to avoid being alone with your own thoughts for a
Escapism,
minute?
no?
Escapism. So
Because that's what it is to me. It's just this idea of like, there was a time where you could, if you said you were bored, people would be like, just be bored.
Yeah.
Just suck it up and be bored. Now this idea that you cannot be bored.
How dare
Boredom
you.
is how dare you, right? Because boredom also has a value.
Yeah.
Right? Which we've completely forgotten. At the end of the day, that's also where you
Bored,
sit.
yeah,
You take
boredom
stock
has
of your
so much
thoughts, you
value.
do all of those things, you come up with, but no, now every time you're bored, there's literally, for want of a better word, this screensaver that can come up and just take you away from that shit. How are you going to like just process things?
the idea behind why boredom is so vilified now is capitalism.
100%, right?
Because there's no free way of solving boredom in today's time. No free way. The only way is Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, which is not really free
not
because
free.
your attention is going. But otherwise, you have to either go out, get coffee, you have to spend somewhere something, and the only way to assure that people will keep doing this is to make boredom absolutely a wrong thing. Hey, bored ho gaya, kuch karte hain, kuch karte hain.
What happened to like hobbies? People don't ask that anymore, no? What are your
wow.
hobbies?
I
Nobody
do
has that.
hobbies, but
Yeah.
I have a TV working on in the background.
Yeah, while I'm
doing
like
the hobbies.
painting,
Yeah, like I'm
sketching.
painting
No,
rocks. I'm
I
doing
have
my
hobbies,
jigsaw
but I don't know.
puzzle.
Every time I tell people my hobbies, I have less friends. It's just
I start playing badminton very regularly, and I started clubbing it with going to the gym, it's because that's also like non-screen time.
Yeah.
But even at the gym, dude, between two sets, it's like where's I just got to check my phone between two sets.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
do that. Like when I stopped going to the gym, I think because that I don't do that.
Wow, you stopped the gym instead of okay.
No, but gym
When
was
she
the
started
only
that
time.
sentence, I thought it would go differently.
Actually, I'm with you on that. Gym is pretty much actually the time when I'm least
Yeah.
on
On my phone, yeah.
Because I'm actually getting real dopamine from real things.
Yeah.
And not needing like the actual phone to do anything. Because also like corollary to that, if I can add, is that at the gym in the middle of a rep or a this thing or whatever is actually probably the only time where I'm 100% present and
In
focused.
the
Yeah.
In the
moment
moment.
when I'm lifting.
You know, when they talk about mindfulness or whatever,
Correct.
my body and my brain are actually synced up and working together without giving attention somewhere else.
It's those few seconds of flow state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In just 2-3 seconds of
Pure,
flow state,
and where
that's
it's
it.
just, it's me working as a circuit without like leaks and distractions.
Yeah.
And I feel that also happens because, and maybe that's the reason I need a trainer, because there is another human being who
Is in
makes
charge,
sure that
babysitting.
he's
Yeah.
babysitting, makes sure that I'm not like every after 2 reps I'm just going to my phone.
Basically, someone is liking or disliking. In that moment.
What you're doing.
It's just a little tap or an happening.
So that is what is happening, because every time you need an external source
Yeah.
of motivation, whatever it is, you have to have somebody's approval or disapproval in
Yeah.
order to do it. Suppose there was nobody, suppose there was no phone, hypothetically, like don't panic, but suppose there was no phone, what would you do? This is a mind game that I've played with a couple of friends once, and it led to a very interesting discussion that if society does not dictate, suppose there was no social media, then what would you do?
Do phone calls count?
Sure.
Hanging out with people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
conversations.
sport is something I would definitely
Keeping
do.
plans I made.
Yes.
Because shit, there's no device on which to cancel.
But Rohan, I remember it's not even that long ago.
No, it's
In
not.
2014-13, we would be locked and we would be writing for 6 hours a day.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
6 hours a
6
day
hours
writing?
Without
a day, are you
phones?
Crazy.
No, and no, we used to have phones,
Yeah.
but we were nowhere near this addicted. Like
Nowhere.
we would go an
Because also the
hour.
platforms were different, right?
Correct.
We just had the basic text of Twitter. Data was still expensive.
Correct.
Wi-Fi
Correct.
was not. We hadn't really fully reached that Web
2000
2.0 of high quality video everywhere.
13 was what, Orkut times? No, before that.
No,
after that.
2014 was after
Snapchat
Orkut.
had
But
come.
before,
Snapchat had come.
Yeah, before like Reels had become a thing.
Right.
We were still, in fact, there's something I was thinking about yesterday. Do you remember? There was a time we used to sit and argue that our AIB videos should be over 10 minutes in length.
Yeah.
Because the algo catches longer videos better.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
one point, because like if it's under 10, then you know it'll go in like that. But over 10, that engagement of number
Yeah.
will be longer and all. And now here we are. Like less than a
15
decade
second
later,
colours.
where it's like, cut it! Cut it!
Basically, flow state is what you're trying to find
Yeah.
to not be bored without screen. So I think working out, sport, any form of creation is probably super useful. Even hanging out, I would want to hang out with funny friends.
Yeah, 100%.
Because hanging out with funny friends is like, it's sort of like a game only, right? Like it's a punchline
Yeah,
game basically.
100%.
What's the funniest angle in whatever you're discussing?
I used to read a lot.
I was thinking it, but I didn't want to be like, but I read and sound like the comments were like, what a
Yeah.
pick me bitch. Right? So I was just like, oh.
No, it's the one screen.
How
I
rude are your
still-
comments?
The
No,
one
I'm just-
screen
I'm
I like
just
is my Kindle.
anticipating what his comments might be.
the
So
one
I'm
I'm
screen
saying
that
that
have
I'm
given me no
unable to
tension.
do it
Yeah.
now.
Is my Kindle.
Read?
I can't read.
I
Hold
have
a
this
physical
recommendation for this topic today, Doc. I've been reading this. It's very nice. It's called
Looks
The Shame
really
Machine.
interesting.
But you know what? Unlike earlier, where it was just this
This
sort
looks
of
really
genuine
nice.
passion that I didn't have to
Very
think
cool.
about, now I've reached a place where it's like exercise. Where I have to sometimes sit down and make myself read, and only then when the book has really pulled me in does that. Now the same thing happens with shows also happens, where some books like you take them out back and shoot them dead after 10 pages only. Like ये नहीं होगा मेरे से.
Yes.
Right? Like ये
Yeah.
नहीं होगा. And then there's others that literally
Yeah.
by page 20 only you're like this one's going to, like so for example Andy Weir, right? Like Project Hail Mary. From page 1 only you're like this is going to be a banger. So there are now books
Another banger.
another.
Baby, calm down.
So
Words. Another banger is do me a favor, let's play Holi.
You see, this is how
But there
the
are
brain
books
works.
that-
He's actually talking
Yeah.
about somebody's substance.
yeah, there you go.
in
the
between.
algo has pulled 14 other things related to that
God.
word, other
Yeah.
shiny baubles, right?
I'm sorry.
But no, there are actual books that are specifically meant to break a reading slump. Like
Is
really
it?
fast. Yeah, I'll send you like a couple of books that are like because they just instantly hook you.
Yeah, because I'm unable to read.
That's
Yeah,
Dude,
so
you
there's
should
actually
pick up-
books that you
Can
can
you
use
share
to
a
break-
few?
I will share it.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll share it with
Young
you.
adult fiction,
Yeah.
if you pick up to get out of a reading, because you're a girl or like a smutty book. I don't know what your type of book is, but if you pick up like a cute rom-com, if you're in a good mood, I pick up thrillers to get me out of like a
Yes.
reading slump.
So
Thrillers are the
Thrillers
best.
really
Thrillers are
get
really
me out of it.
So I
Thrillers are
used to
the
read a lot of Jeffrey Archer, okay?
Yeah.
So now
Yeah,
when I
Archer was great, yeah.
Yeah, when I was thinking of like, oh, I should get into reading habit and all, I picked up on Jeffrey Archer. Couldn't, yeah? And
Jeffrey
They're
Archer is the
too
original
big.
TikToker. Her chapter में twist.
Adam.
Also, I feel like the fat books, like, it's not that serious. Like, nothing can be that important for you to, like, such a
And
big, thick book.
does this happen
dude.
to you where
Yeah.
now because of the social media world, now I do judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, I totally
Right?
do.
I'm like, what a nice yellow pink sexy on my
Yeah.
shelf.
Yeah, but
You need therapy. Why not?
also, I think sometimes if you carry that book in public and the cover is ugly, I don't want other people to judge me by the
Yeah.
book I'm reading.
Yeah.
know?
You
So I
get
have
judged
to
by
be
its
like-
cover, right?
Yeah.
Fair.
Because people will be like, oh, what a weirdo. She's reading
Yeah,
that
exactly.
book.
Is that a genre of books are supposed to re-get you back into reading?
Any book that has lots of plot, essentially
Yeah.
Da Vinci Code is a great example of a reading slump breaker just because every
Reading
chapter is
slump
ending on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It's that equivalent of that show that you can't stop
Yeah.
watching because there's a hook in you at the end of every chapter. So that's what you need. You need books that will just go put, and then when you feel like you've gotten that reading flow again and you can give little patience, that's when I then move on to, Time Magazine's top 10 books. Asian Immigrant had a tough time at this.
It's always rich dad, poor dad, psychology of money. What else?
All this,
The
yeah.
Alchemist.
Yeah.
And 3-4 Atomic Habits now is making
All, yeah,
it. to the
basically
list.
whatever that is signaling.
Yeah.
So those books work because they have that hook of I can make your life better.
Correct.
So you're reading
Those
it for
I
greed.
avoid. No, those I avoid.
yeah,
like,
Atomic
Secret.
Habits are
The
very
Secret,
good.
sure.
The Secret.
Yeah.
The Secret.
The magic, the secret,
Oh
the
my
power.
God.
Oh
Just
my
The
think
god.
about-
Celestine Prophecy.
Guys, Secret to work down, I feel.
Dude, me too. Like, I feel like I read that book growing up so much and everything that happened. I'm like, I
Yes.
did it. I'm Matilda. Like, you
Yes.
don't understand.
I
Like,
secreted
I
it.
did it.
I
Yeah.
secreted it.
I was a secret bitch.
You were saying what you do to be doctor.
No, I like the question because it is. I was telling you about how it is. Once it becomes work, it becomes easier. Stop looking at it like pleasure. It's not pleasure anymore, and you have to understand that because it's not giving you pleasure. You're only trying to
That's true.
Get away from the sadness.
get
in a
away
nice
from
way.
the sadness.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why do people like watching trends? It's like 10 people doing the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
Why do we enjoy it? Like, even though I know what's gonna happen, you know, like that Long the Lishkara guy, like there are so many videos of his, but people love it, people watch it. Or any trend.
But how
I don't
long though?
understand.
Don't you get tired
That
of the
Bach,
song?
Kava. I'm asking you, I'm tired of the
So
song.
I think
Yeah,
that
why does it
there's
still
something
work?
to do with, okay, it's like when there is visual movement that's synced with music, and when they sync appropriately, that makes you feel good, right? Second thing is all trends, if you notice, all trends are effectively build up to like some sort of a reveal in the end. Like some sort of reveal, right? That's what transition reels were. Transition reels were basically
Okay, yeah,
lead
yeah.
up to some reveal. X happens and then Y will happen as a reveal.
Yeah.
Is a general internet content format, right from cooking videos, which
Yeah.
is I put cheese on dough and now it become a fucking pizza castle right at the end of it, right? Like which is it goes inside oven, it comes out and it's a new thing.
Yeah.
Trends are also that. Transitions are also
Dude,
that.
my
I think with
guilty
trends, there's
pleasure is
also an element of
transition
participation.
videos. I love watching them.
Transition
I
videos
know
are-
what she looks
Yeah.
like. I watched 10 videos of hers, but
Yeah.
every time she puts makeup, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
No.
Like just people, right?
Yeah,
Like they'll
yeah.
have like a no makeup thing and then they do this in slow
Yeah,
motion.
get ready with
Wow.
me. Get ready with me
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that.
get
Do you think there's a feeling of when you jump on a trend that you're part of a community? That's
No, I
creating
feel
this,
like I'm whoring self for views.
you, but general. When say like because something I saw happen a lot in the lockdown. Like a lot of people that I know that wouldn't ordinarily jump
Make
onto
dalgona
reel
coffee
trends
or-
or like dance videos or whatever were really like getting into it because I feel like within that added this thing of loneliness, some community. Like these are people who wouldn't even engage with this content ordinarily, but sitting at home.
But
This
there's like
was-
actual
And we all thought we
communities.
were all gonna die, right?
It's just
so like we
a-
were like, what's there if we do dance video now?
So when you talk about why trends are really cool, it's two things that are predictability and anticipation.
Huh.
These are the two pillars on which everything, all hooks are built on.
what a nice way to frame it.
You have to have predictability. But if it's 100% predictable, then what are you looking forward to? There's nothing.
Yeah.
So
the best trends are also those where it's predictable but different enough. Like each person will do something slightly off. Right? Like what was that? What was that trend? Harlem Shake. Harlem Shake was the. Do you remember Harlem Shake? Do the Harlem Shake. And then 500 people are going to dance. And like the best trends are those where you know what's going to happen, but you don't know exactly know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Or how far can somebody take this, right? Like so there was what was that statue challenge? What was it called? Where everybody was sort of holding in one position.
Right. Oh yeah,
and people taking it to really like extreme.
Correct.
Long the Lashkara.
Yeah.
I feel like the ones that most appeal to me are something with a caption.
Look at him blushing.
Yes.
I know. But bro, he's not even blushing. They'll slow down, they'll whatever. He would have smiled one time.
Yeah.
That only they'll zoom in and out and in and out. I think that guy
I
is
want
also
you guys to
tired now.
describe this trend because I don't know it.
So there's this song. It's called why am I explaining the song? That Patiala House wala song, right? This guy's a choreographer and these are his students. Workshops he's doing. So these people go to his workshop. Once they learn the routine, they'll put one camera down. Right when it comes to that Here Meri lyric, they'll turn around to him and they'll do this. Okay? And he'll be like, and he's chewing gum the whole time. So he's like,
and this has happened some 600 times.
Yeah.
Every girl has turned to him. It's not a part of the step, but they all do it to him.
Yeah.
And he'll just be like, girl.
The title should be Neuroscience or Social. Wait, what were we talking about?
Anticipation and predictability. That's what makes trends.
And good dating also.
And good dating.
When
Now
you're
you
looking
guys
for-
are deviating. I just want to say.
Oh, acha, now because you're married, we can talk about dating.
I just want to say I can't relate even though I'm married.
Anticipation and predictability. This is like tools of hooking. Like I don't think I'm getting dumber, but lack of patience. Like the bar to keep me engaged is definitely getting higher.
Yeah.
Like my smartness comes in shorter bursts.
20-minute session of ideating
Yeah.
feels like I've fucking done so much work.
Like a
what have I
week's worth
done?
of ideas, dude. 20 minutes.
Yeah. Like 2 weeks ago, Devaya had come to Bangalore. And we spent every morning waking up at like 9:30 and we would go on my terrace and we would just sit there and I was not on my computer till like 5 p.m. and we would just zone in and out, do a little bit of work and then do a call and then come back. I don't think the need to be in like a working community has ever been higher for me.
Yeah.
Like the pandemic ruined it.
Oh,
Remember we
100%.
used to work in an office, it was so nice. And all.
Exactly.
Sitting for 6 hours and writing. Like what a crazy thing.
I've
it was.
realized that now, where I've actually started going out to people like more than anything, like you said, right? I need an invigilator in life. Like someone to sit across like this, just being in a environment that feels like a working environment.
Yeah.
Where I'm Schrodinger's employee. Only when you watch. Fuck it.
I just want to say the only reason I know that reference is because I recently rewatched Big Bang Theory. Otherwise, I'd be like, Schrodinger's what now? Okay.
One cool thing I had recently read about addiction. This was more in terms of like drug addiction, but also applies to internet addiction. There is one network in the brain called default mode network. And it does what you might think it does. It is your default state when you are not looking outside. Okay, so nothing is stimulating you, you're not motivated to do something, you're just chilling, daydreaming. That's your default mode network. In addiction, your default mode network strength goes down. You are no longer able to just
be.
So you need that stimulus
you have
constantly.
to, right? So the weaker your default mode network becomes, the more you will start looking.
That's what people say when they say they have an addictive personality.
Yeah.
Let's get addicted to things. There was a great sentence about addiction, which was that addiction is not the really liking of one thing, it's the narrowing of liking of other things.
Yeah.
Right? Which is addiction is that only this thing is the thing that gives you joy, everything else stops giving you joy at all.
Yeah. That's true.
That's why like boring in-person conversations, just being in a room with someone, not as enjoyable anymore.
The weirdest thing is addiction is the most logical thing your brain can do in the short term. I'll explain to you what it means before this gets out of hand. If you were to think of why you like multiple things, you like them because they're good for you in some way, right?
Yeah.
A drug or something that gives you a high dopamine rush in a very short time makes a lot of sense to the brain. Like, why would you go out to invest a lot of time and effort into building a
Most return on
relationship?
smallest.
Correct. The highest
dose.
return on the smallest investment.
It's like the next step of evolution, which is, if the purpose is to just keep accumulating dopamine,
Right.
this just makes sense, right?
This makes a lot of sense. We don't know yet that the purpose of life is not to be happy. And that kind of circles back to what I said about social media. If the purpose of life is to be happy,
Then we're getting there a lot.
addiction is
Yeah.
the most logical thing
answer.
you can do.
Yeah, fair.
So that is where the social media discussion kind of, hits a wall. Because we keep telling each other, are you happy? Are you happy? Do
Dude,
whatever
when
it takes to
killing
make
it,
you
I'm
happy.
always
So
sad.
to another, I was going to
so
say,
bad.
my brain knows,
Yeah.
my brain knows that
addicted.
happiness is not the goal.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
brain is made,
No,
but
but
okay.
I am addicted to social media.
But I'm not
I'm
happy.
not happy.
Yeah.
Nor am I
Also,
happy while watching
happiness
the
is,
reels.
happiness is not a score, right?
Something.
It's not like 45 means you're more happy and 70 means less happy. It's just that if you're used to a 20,
Yeah.
10 will make you less happy, but 30 will make you more happy.
Exactly.
It's an
And if
expectation game, right?
And the longer you have been addicted to anything, any drug, you develop
requires-
tolerance.
correct.
Correct.
So now, how much of social media will make you happy? There is a limit. There is something. Something can happen still on Instagram that can make you deliriously happy, but it has to be at that level.
Correct.
Dude,
That
dog videos, like animal videos or like babies. That's the only time I'm like, hee. Everything else, I'm just
Yes.
like,
Yeah. Whatever.
I
if you-
saw an
you know,
animal
yeah.
video yesterday. I was so happy.
dude,
Yeah.
same.
Animal videos
Especially
are the
those
shit.
chihuahua
Yeah,
things
yeah.
where they're like, wait, no, chihuahua. Like, have you
Yeah.
seen those videos? Where they're like, it's
I have
so
a friend who
funny.
can't fall asleep without dog videos playing. Like he falls asleep to dog videos.
That's
Who?
cute.
Priyo, he falls asleep to like every night. Like if you're like on holiday with him or whatever, you go turn off the TV and watching dog videos.
Man, I thought Brio was the dog. Like, it
Yeah.
just sounded like such a dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just all I want is a dog to do no kavaleya. Yeah. So is there a way to lower tolerance? Like the way to increase tolerance to dopamine is to just get a lot of it.
Yeah.
Is there a way to lower tolerance?
Like how do I get happy on one post?
On one post.
Let's move on, essentially.
Yeah,
Like,
basically.
Yeah. Withdrawal. Like, you have to go through that withdrawal because your brain is now
What's happening in my
convinced.
brain when there's withdrawal? Like
Your brain is now convinced that without this you cannot
Yes.
find happiness. So when you take that thing away, you have taken away a source of happiness. You've taken away something you really value. Now you're holding on to it. And if you still take it away, it's a threat. Now whoever that person is that is taking it away is now your enemy. If that person is you, then there is a lot of internal conflict. क्योंकि तो खुद को you are not allowing yourself to be happy. That is one of the reasons why people spiral. Because now what do? I am the one telling myself not to do it. It would have been so much better if it was your dad or your mom or somebody else telling you, no, you're not allowed to watch TV anymore. Now you have a clear target. Inke wajah se I'm not able to do it. That's fine. Children are much calmer because they are not allowed to watch TV because of their dads. If you are the one not allowing yourself, then it's a really bad spiral, right? Like, where do you go from there?
Or is that a weird high where like you want something but you don't want it, so you like in that
And
weird
some-
like
Only
you know.
Toxic relationships she's been in.
No, I'm just thinking because
Yeah, what is this
What is
tantric
that?
delayed happiness? like, yeah. There was this relationship once
are
where
you doing
this
it?
guy kept telling me once I'll make you happy.
I've had a great childhood, you guys. My parents are great. I'm okay.
okay, when you watch someone make reels or when you watch someone, vlog or even podcast now, it feels like, this is super easily doable by everyone, right? Like who can't think they can have a conversation? Right, it's true
Yeah,
for stand-up also for very
yeah,
long,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like everybody knew the one hilarious person in their group. So anybody who finds any success in a bunch of these, it's just the degree of scrutiny is so high. And in that sense, doing a podcast full time, you're effectively letting your stream of conscious be on record for 6 hours a week. That is a short way of having people attack you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right,
Because
like-
also it's impossible to be consistent.
Yeah.
Beyond a point, we're putting 6 hours of thoughts out every week. At some point, you're going to reach a place where you reach an inconsistency with a previous thought that you have.
Of course.
And every human being
Especially
does.
if
But
it's
because
over-
yours is recordable on a timeline, people be like
Correct.
hypocrite.
Correct.
Not realizing that that's actually everybody's thought process.
If you find something that you've said 10 years ago and
Yeah.
like 15 years ago, I mean, of course
you
you will.
should disagree with it. In fact.
Exactly. If you have not, then you've not
Yeah.
grown.
Exactly.
Yeah. Basically, any conversation where if you are beyond a certain critical mass, any stream of thought more than 30 seconds
Yes.
is likely in for more scrutiny. So just fucking chillax. is my point.
Yes. Yes.
That was
Yeah.
so well
You know, earlier it used to be like, don't meet your heroes. Now
Yeah.
don't listen to anything more than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
By
I
your
don't
heroes.
listen
Or you won't have any heroes left.
Haven't made
Yeah.
heroes.
So the pressure of perfection has become such a thing in social media now because your whole life is now out there. Everything has to be Instagrammable. Every corner of every house has to be show worthy.
Yeah.
But that's not how life is.
Dude,
You
also
don't.
face and body, right? I don't know about men, but like, okay, women also I don't know, but for me personally, I feel like when I see perfectly great bikini bodies and all that, I'll just look at myself eating chips like shit.
Shut
dude.
up,
Like
Naya,
I
I'll
ain't really
smack you
doing it.
across the
No,
fucking
I
face.
swear to God. But
This
don't
is
you
what
think?
I feel when I see her.
Shut up! Oh my God!
This is exactly this green outfit that you've worn, and then the photo.
That one picture, right? But
Okay,
do you
let me
understand
tell
how
you.
much taping went into everything?
I don't know. I saw it, right?
Whenever she's shooting, there's like 4 people that descend onto her house. There's a special room dedicated to her
Oh, that's
getting-
not true. These
her
are for
getting-
like outside shoots, not for my reels. I'm barking into a camera. You think I need people
Oh,
for
not
that?
for
It's
those.
usually for my bed.
Wait,
I'm
like
doing
twice a week, people are descending into your house to get you ready for like a thing, right?
Wow.
Yeah, dude, because we've grown to a point where we have to
Correct.
do bigger, larger scale shoots, and I can't like be the
You don't
only
need to
person
justify, I'm
doing
just saying it
everything.
She
happens.
asked the question, and then she's answered it also.
No. My thing was I didn't even ask a question. I just
No,
said
like
it's so
that-
hard to like be on social media and not have low self-esteem or like have bouts of low self-esteem and self-doubt and be like, oh, how
That's
are
why
they doing
I had
it?
low self-esteem first. Then I got on social media.
The act of being prolific on social media is
Yeah.
basically a cry for help, right? Which is that I need this.
Yeah.
I need you
Love
to
me.
like me. Love
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
Love me is basically a cry for help.
I'm
Love
so
me.
needy.
Guys,
yeah, I
but
get
when I
it.
was doing the whole love me thing, that love me wala phase, I was so happy.
Because
and
you,
now
because you were
when I'm,
loved, asking for it and getting it.
Getting it.
but now when I don't do that, I mean, it's a cycle also that I don't do it because I'm sad, and I'm sad because I'm not doing it.
I felt bad.
This is proper
I know what you
therapy.
mean.
But I'm
This is
only
proper
one
therapy,
like.
yeah.
I think you're alright also.
I don't know.
Here's
This whole
the-
episode
here's
has been
the thing.
triggering for you.
You guys don't feel like that because I relate so
Right?
hard. Like I know exactly the feeling you're talking about because it's great and then it's just not enough and then you're like, does it even matter? Like I'm just a speck of dust
That's my
in the
secret,
Like
Captain.
it's like a whole,
I'm always sad.
but you're constantly trying to like be happy for like a second. And I've reached the conclusion that I hate people. Like I
Wow.
just
Yeah.
can't people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's
Like I
the-
can't.
When did
Yeah.
my personality type become INFP, whatever? Like, I was never I, dude. I was always E. And now my husband is E and I'm I. He's extrovert, I'm introvert. How? When?
Yeah.
No, I think that does happen, right? Because in general, if you're on social media a lot, if you're creating a lot, your exposure to people goes up a lot in terms of what people are saying to you, etc. So it's like if you had a job where you had to eat even your favorite fruit like 1,000 times a day, there'd be a point where you'd be like, I never want to see this
Yes.
fruit again in my life. And the thing that struck me after you said that is that if I had to think back to the last 2 to 3 years, my actual happiest moments have all been off social media.
Same.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, another thing that I just thought of was social media friendships.
Yeah.
Like, I became friends with people over the internet and I just couldn't sustain it. I couldn't. Like, I used to talk to them regularly and there was a lot of to and fro about, this is funny and that is nice and this is this and tell me about your life and your girlfriend and your boyfriend and blah, blah, blah. And beyond 2 months, I met them once and that was it. I couldn't do it. And I just can't maintain friendships anymore beyond the ones that I've made like 10 years back.
I think it's becoming more and more clear to me that friendships where there are activities involved together or some sort of work involved together are the ones that become most easily sustainable because there's like a clear thing to do.
There's this thing they advise first time dating of people who are going on their first dates that do not go out just for coffee.
Or
Do a
an
thing.
Just
activity.
find an activity.
Find an activity,
Find
yeah.
something else that bonds you. Do not depend on each other for attention.
Yeah.
Because that's a sure way of disappointing each other, or it can't be sustained.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah,
in
fair.
today's time, you can't sustain a 1 hour conversation with somebody. I feel like that's asking a lot.
I've done this with some of my friends in Bangalore where we would just spend a lot of time hanging out and we started replacing that with going and playing badminton.
Right.
Going for a swim.
Yeah.
together. It just makes things like
I think it's
so
also
much
why,
better.
like as adults, poker nights and things like that become common, because then there's an activity
Correct.
that sort of is then also helping. So, like I do board games a lot, etc. Because that activity then also really starts to change the ebb and flow of the conversation.
Yeah.
Because also the power moves around the board, the power moves around the table. So dynamics keep changing over that activity. Like with the sport also, right? One person will be killing it one day, then that dynamic changes, then
Correct.
that, so it's just great.
You need a thing to react to with friends.
Hard.
One common
Crazy
thing to
man,
react.
we should do that on YouTube.
Circle back 10 years.
Yeah. Like someone once told me saying even the news is basically the anchor reacting to things, right? Like actually.
That's what it is now.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. Like maybe 15 years ago, they would just tell the news.
Correct,
Now
correct,
the
yeah.
anchors are also reacting.
react-
No,
Acting things.
react videos only. That's literally what 6 people window.
Yeah.
How can you?
Their OG gang is from Pakistan.
Another thing about relationships is parasocial relationships. People who have a relationship with you one way because you have put all of your life up there.
Yes.
They know you completely.
Oh God, yes.
And everybody else that they know so well
Yeah.
is their family and their
Yeah,
closest
yeah,
friends.
Yes.
And you. This
For
is
them,
like a huge
Tanmay is
thing.
in my pocket. So if I'm walking around and he's not around, they're like, where's Tanmay? Why would where's Akash? I exist without these two human beings.
Yeah,
Tanmay's
sometimes
not
what
put
you want.
locks.
Rest of the gang, where they?
Yeah. Where are they? Yeah. No,
I'm
bro,
here for a
I'm
family wedding, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Tanmay को बोलो मेरा message check करे. Fucker, he's not replying to my message.
Also नहीं करने वाला मैं check. I'm just not gonna do it.
So that's the way that your brain really tricks you, right? Because you think that this is real. All the things that you see on social media, you think it's actually real, but then it's so ephemeral.
Yeah.
So uspe,
Fuck this, it's the visual human version of like sometimes when a dog will see another dog on TV and we start reacting to it. It's like the human version of that. Like that is real, guys. Yeah.
I have a question to ask you guys. When Instagram started verification in exchange for money, what do you think that did on social media? How?
I didn't care only for
Yeah,
some
that
course,
did
like-
nothing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They did for
I
two
I
hours.
found that
course.
it polarized a bunch of people, where it essentially gave a bunch of people a new standard for just judgment.
Correct.
In terms of like, if I want to judge you badly, oh, you've paid for a tick, how tacky.
Yeah.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, if you want to pay for it,
Yeah, I
enjoy
was
it,
very
right?
weird.
Like, it's like, man, I would pay for a premium facility at a certain place or whatever.
Right.
It's no different from any other aspirational thing, but I saw that it seemed to really polarize people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But remember when we first got our verification, like when we were very
a
young and we
huge
got, it was a
deal.
huge
Oh,
deal.
it was
So
a
I
big
get it.
huge
I
deal.
get like
Deal.
earning it and then seeing somebody paying 600 rupees and getting it and you're like, bro, I worked for years to get this one
No,
stupid
but what
But
is
I
this
don't
like?
exactly
Earning
that- yeah.
what? Exactly.
But
what
now
have
I
you
don't
earned?
know
just
value
like
in
a
it.
thappa that, hey, you're
You
something.
made it.
You're not,
You
you're
made
not
it.
really,
You're
all it is
something.
KYC.
Correct.
A verified
Yeah.
tag now is just KYC.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I
This
feel
is real.
Bumble desensitized me to verification.
Oh,
Like once
Bumble
I start-
desensitized me to so much.
It's because everyone can get verified. No, you just have to show your face. And
Yeah, so on Bumble when I saw it made me realize what verification is actually. It is just
KYC.
basically, oh, you're a human being and,
and you are who you are.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
that's
problem
what
was they
verification
changed-
You know that I'm not a
They
robot
changed the
thing.
meaning
Yeah.
of the
I
tick.
hate those.
Correct.
Dude.
That's
I
what
don't
happened.
pick
Next to-
crosswalks and cycles.
Oh,
How
yeah,
many
sometimes it's
times?
so confusing,
Oh my
dude.
god, yeah.
Again, sorry for one more
Sorry,
tangent.
sorry. Yeah.
That's
just-
Sid made a really important point, which is that the verification originally was that
Yeah.
okay, if Tom Cruise is on Twitter,
Correct.
How
there
do
are
you know it's
many
real?
Tom Cruises.
That's true.
Yeah.
How do we know this guy is Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Until it reached a point where organizations and their whole all employees start getting verified, right? Like
Yeah.
anybody who
Yeah.
works for Reuters start getting
Yeah.
verified.
Yeah.
Started with news channels. I
Then
think.
it just stopped becoming, dude, like no one was impersonating me. I don't know why they gave me a verification badge. No one was really
My
pretending to be
dad
me.
got a fake account, yeah. Poor thing, he's not verified. Now there's this fake account. Truly, he needs to be verified. I felt
Because
bad
to be
for him.
fair, it's easier to impersonate a non-verified
Yeah.
account.
Correct.
It is to-
So that's even a verification application form.
Yeah.
You have to show that
You show news articles or
Yeah.
something, a
not
Wikipedia
in
page.
news articles. It's supposed to be easiest if you show that
Yeah.
someone's impersonating you.
Right.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you're supposed to. You can show that saying someone impersonating me. That's why I need it. That's how it began until it started being a status.
A part
Yeah.
of the
So very
anger
quickly.
was that tick was part of the social language.
Yeah.
Right? That tick meant one thing.
Correct.
And if you change the meaning of that, then what does the earlier thing mean?
I started noticing how I started interacting with it. What different was on Instagram. You can see your in your notification.
I
You can
knew what you were
see.
saying.
Yeah.
Verified.
You could filter it by verified,
Verified, right.
which is who are the important people
Yeah.
who kind of like just engaged with me today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I cool?
Yeah, am I cool?
It's like a weird status thing. Like,
It's like it's very yucky.
it's like a icky, like, yeah, status
It's very
thing.
yucky.
So gross. Like, you don't admit it, but it's like, it's there.
Even
yeah.
you'd go into your others inbox and you'd go into top requests and all requests.
Yeah.
Like your eyes would
Yeah,
naturally scan to where is the blue badge.
Yeah.
who has
There's also
messaged.
hidden requests, by the way.
Life
Oh,
is
yeah,
super
I
chill.
know.
You go, no, I feel like a lot of messages just go there, not even in your
Hidden
filtered-
request is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go to your like whatever request and then you scroll down and as you're reaching the bottom there'll be hidden requests and you gotta quickly click it and then you get like a full new page. It's
And I'm
crazy.
like,
really?
why is this
I
hidden?
know that.
It's not
Why
like
is
they've
it hidden?
abused
I don't
me.
know, it's not
Yeah.
abusing, it's just hidden.
Instagram just decides.
Yeah, it's like surprise
इसको नहीं
there's more
देखने.
people who like
Instagram
you,
just
you know?
files information in the weirdest ways, changing their system every couple of weeks, and we go okay.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
basically it.
Instagram.
I know you do. I know you
Yeah, I
do. Go
know.
back and watch
Comic.
the
Their
episode.
features are so great.
Anyway, we began by wanting to discuss why what happens, and then we discussed what all happens.
Yes.
Everything has been
Yes.
discussed. As usual, thank you very much. Please don't follow any of us on social media. Don't do us that favor.
Went from neuroscience to neurotic very fast.
Pretty quickly. Pretty quickly. See you guys on the next episode. Bye.